Hey everyone, I'm uploading a video today that's not my normal. I normally upload speed paint videos of dragons I draw, but I wanted to create a video that I needed personally. I could not find anything that was helpful for me, so I thought I would create this and share what I found with others. I love using Google Sheets and Excel formulas, so I created this nutrition facts label maker and meal prep ingredient calculator. This Google Sheet file will calculate the nutrition used from the ingredients recommended serving nutrition and create a nutrition fact label based on the amount of portions created from the meal. As you use this Google Sheet, you can have multiple sheets and this document will almost become like a cooking book. I do want to add a disclaimer. My only knowledge about nutrition fact labels is probably like everyone else, which is only from what you see looking at them. I don't know anything about daily percent values, macros, or micros. I just know what I see and that I wanted to create something that looked just like that. So I hope that this helps, but I will say use with caution. So to get started, look at the instructions tabs. This goes over everything. I'll try my best to cover everything. I might skip some things. But to get started, you'll make a copy. So go to File, Make Copy, and rename it to whatever you want. So I'm going to name it Lynn's Cooking Book. Or no, Lynn's Meal Prep Calculator. For every meal that you make, you want to make a copy of the blank sheet and rename it to what you're cooking. So right click, duplicate, find the copy, right click, rename to what you're making. So in this first example, I'll be adding the information for saltine toffee cookies. Before I go into adding the nutrition facts for each ingredient, I'm going to point out a couple things. So you can add the name of the food here as well. You can add the serving or the amount of servings or portions that you will get from the meal. But if it's like something like these cookies where you won't know until you're done, you can add that afterwards. But if you're meal prepping a meal, say like fried rice, and you know exactly how many portions you want to make, you can go ahead and add that there. Because I know how many I made in this example, I'll just go ahead and put 45. As you're editing the cells, do not edit the gray cells. These have formulas in them, as you can see. When you double click on one cell, it will highlight where the formula is pulling its information. So like this cell is adding all of the total calories from each ingredient, and you can see each cell is highlighted. These cells below, they are figuring out the ratio, the math, the formula needed to figure out what was used from the to use, the recommended serving size. So like an example is if you have a can of chicken and the serving size is 1, but the whole can, you used a whole can in your recipe, you'll put that in the what was used. Say it's 100 calories. It immediately has taken this cell, divided it by what to use, and has multiplied it by what was used. So if you double click on this, you can see that as well. So calories divided by to use multiplied what was used. And every cell, every gray cell will do this. It's going to take what you're calculating, divide it to use, multiplied by used. As you're adding your information, you want to make sure that the units stay the same. Don't add any words. So what I mean by units is if you're using grams, keep it in grams. Ounces, quantity, you want to make sure it's the same. If you want to specify what you were using, you can add it in your notes here. if you're meal prepping something in advance and you need to clear out an ingredient, only clear the white cells, but don't clear this cell. If it is blank or 0, it breaks the formula and you get this error message. So make sure that stays a 1. Before I start adding information, I do want to preface, I like using metric. I actually live in the US, but I prefer using metric when cooking because I have a food scale and it just got convenient for me over time. So I will be talking in metric, but you can use whatever scale. Just make sure that your units stay the same when you're using to use and used. Your recommended serving and what you used from the servings. So I'm going to add all of the ingredients, their nutrition facts from the saltine toffee cookies that I made. But before I add that, I do want to mention that it's best to take pictures of what you're cooking, the nutrition facts label from the packaging. If you don't, you can look it up later, but sometimes it gets tricky because what you find online might not match what you actually had in hand. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I'm going to go through some examples and then I'll add the nutritional information from the cookies. So some websites like Walmart.com, they actually do have really good pictures and information for their products. They often have what the package looks like, extra stuff from the manufacturer. But somewhere in there, it's going to have the nutritional facts. They also list it down below in somewhere. Used to. Some stores like Costco or, the big box stores, they are so seasonal that they don't list the nutritional facts for some products. So often it's best to look it up on other websites. So like Instacart is pretty good about having Costco information, or Nutrition IX, which is a user entry database. The only negative about this is sometimes the packaging will also be different per region. So what's on here might not match what you actually use. So be careful. And then if you are, like in the scenario that I had with making these cookies, I needed to make 3 batches of cookies from 1 box of brown sugar. You can always take the grams listed on the cover and divide it by the amount of, how many batches you want to make. So when I was making these cookies, I needed 3 portions. I knew I needed 151 grams of brown sugar per batch. So all of that to say, as you're adding your information, watch the gray cells. And this, I just realized these should be gray. But watch the gray cells. They will update as you are adding your information. So I'm going to speed up the video as I enter in the information from the saltine cookies that I made. So I've finished adding all of the nutritional facts information from the ingredients that I used. And as I was doing that, it was also updating here. So what you'll see in this column is the calorie meal prep total from the ingredients used. This is taking, if I double click on the calorie cell here, it is taking the information from all of these highlighted cells. These cells are taking the information from the meal prep total column and is dividing it by the number of servings that you've entered in this cell here. So I'm going to go ahead and show my other example that I had. Say if you're meal prepping, your lunches for work or something, which is exactly what this was. I knew I needed 6 portions. I added all of my ingredients. You can add your notes. So I used the whole can. I used 7 eggs. For rice, I like to use grams because it's easier. It's easier for me. So 52 grams per serve. I used 50% of the serving Japanese barbecue sauce, Asian fried onion flakes, and then rice seasoning. After entering all of that, when I was making this, I did not write down all of these macros. The only ones that I recorded when I was making this was calorie, fat, carbs, and protein. So that's why a lot of this is zeros right now. But I figured out from the 6 portions that I made, each portion was 408 calories. I'm going to round it up because easier. Some other things I wanted to show while I have this up, and I'm going to split screen my desktop here. If you wanted to make it easier to find recipes, say like you've made so many meals on this and this has essentially become like a cooking book for yourself now, what you can do to clean up the row of sheets down here at the bottom is you can actually hide them and find them from the sheet index here. So like say I want to hide the saltine cookies but pull them up later. So to do that, one click on the 3 lines here and just find the file you're looking for. You can tell it's hidden because it's gray. The visible sheets are black. As soon as you click on it, it's going to reappear and the text color will change back to black. So yeah, that is my Nutrition Facts Meal Prep Calculator. I hope this was helpful. It's what worked best for me. If you want to tweak the cells, any of the formulas, you can. Just, be careful. Always keep that blank copy just in case if you want to, fix anything. The formulas will always be there. Again, disclaimer, I know nothing about nutrition or facts. I just wanted a calculator and to make it look pretty. So yeah, thank you.